Baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. It has cooled off quite a bit and rainy and overcast, and we will start about 15 minutes late. The Cubs and the Phillies getting set for the rubber match here at Citizens Bank Park. And welcome to Cubs Baseball on the CSN along with Jim DeShays. I'm Len Casper. The Cubs dropped a decision 3-2 last night. We're going to talk some defense. It's not very sexy. We usually talk about offense and pitching, but the Cubs have caught the ball better than everybody in baseball.
Yeah, you don't get to be as good as the Cubs have been this year without really doing well in all phases of the game. And indeed, we have focused on the starting pitching and the offense, but the defense has been spectacular. We'll take a look at some plays in this series. David Ross has really been a weapon behind the plate, shutting down the running game there. You see him pounce on a bunt. We see an improved play from Jorge Soler in the outfield. We've seen Dexter Fowler's defensive metrics go up. But look at that play by Addison Russell. This kid has been absolutely spectacular anchoring the infield at shortstop. And we talk about defensive efficiency. This is balls in plays turned into outs, and the Cubs are the leaders of the pack. They're at least average pretty much everywhere on the field, and in a lot of positions well above average.
Yeah, Ben Zobrist's addition at second base has helped, and you know, just the fact that Addison Russell can talk to Zobrist on a daily basis, that's got to help a lot too.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's positioning. Russell's made 4 or 5 errors this year, but only one true fielding error. A couple of throws have gotten away from him. So the hands are good, the feet are great. Positioning, pitching obviously contributes as well. There's been a lot of soft contact, not a lot of line drives against this pitching staff, but that old saw about pitching and defense winning championships certainly in play here for this Cubs team.
Yeah, Jason Hayward so far offensively has been essentially a replacement level player, but his defense, he's been worth almost a run.
Yeah,
or a win, I should say, above replacement.
Yeah, and we knew it coming in that Jason Hayward was probably or maybe the best corner outfielder certainly in Major League Baseball, and he's proven that time and again already this year, and you just hope the bat starts to heat up for him.
All right, John Lackey will start today, and it's been just a really good couple of months, particularly here these last few weeks.
Yeah, it's really been fun to watch John pitch. He had a couple clunkers, but by and large, time and time again, he goes out there and shuts down the opposition. He's a lot of real low-run starts. He shut down this Philly club back on May 29th, allowed just 1 run in 7 innings of work. Very aggressive, throws first strike 70% of the time. That's the highest mark in the National League.
Was talking with Chris Bosio today. You know, when the Cubs don't win, usually it's not about a starting pitcher having a bad day. It's about 1 or 2 pitches. That's really it. And the Cubs, when they lose, they tend to be very close games.
And that was the case here last night. We just got talking about the defense. There was a little misplay in the outfield by Chris Bryant last night that cost Kyle Hendricks. He was pulled after 5 innings for a pinch hitter, but he really threw the ball quite well yet again.
Yes, he did. So we will start a few minutes late, but we will get the scoop on the Cubs from our Cubs insider, Patrick Mooney, right after the break. Cubs and the Phillies coming up from Philadelphia.
on CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. Ford, inviting you to check out their fuel-efficient lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency. Low fares. Nothing to hide.
Make sure you follow Patrick Mooney, our Cubs insider, all season long on CSNChicago.com. Presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich, serving the community for 38 years. Go to jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. And again, under a short rain delay as Albert Almora Jr. gets ready for his first Major League start. He made his debut last night as a pinch hitter. And Patrick Mooney, you've been following Albert Almora Jr. as we have since the day he was drafted. The Cubs' first pick with Jason McLeod making those picks. And it's kind of a fun time for him.
Yeah, definitely an emotional moment for Albert the other night. Marty Peavy, the Iowa manager, let him know. He calls home, tells his mom to wake up his dad, Albert Sr., to give him the big news. And obviously he's been battling prostate cancer. He hasn't had a chance to come up to Philly. But Albert says his dad's doing better, kind of going through radiation treatment, and that he'll get out there soon enough. And obviously the Cubs do go to Miami in a couple of weeks. And I think Cubs fans are going to get a chance to see the type of player he is, particularly on the defensive end. Chris Bryant said yesterday that he's the best defensive center fielder he's ever seen. So I think with him, Hayward, Fowler, Cubs have a pretty nice alignment out there today.
No question about it. And while it looks like he's kind of been behind some of the other Cub prospects, a couple of things to consider. He was drafted out of high school, so he was really young, and he's been very young for his age, really at every turn.
Yeah, that's what really drew the Cubs to him when he came out of high school, that he had been a really standout performer for Team USA. Obviously, South Florida has a huge culture in terms of travel baseball and that kind of elite circuit, and he had always excelled in that regard. And the Cubs people would kind of put it this way, that if he had stayed at home and gone to the University of Miami, right now this would be his first full season in professional baseball.
Wilson Contreras stays at AAA Iowa. At last check, he was leading the entire system in batting average in the 340s. A little minor foot injury the other day. It sounds like he's fine. I know a lot of Cub fans are clamoring for him to get here, but there are very specific reasons why he's still in Iowa.
Yeah, we're all obsessed with what's next and who's kind of the next big guy, and he is. But Joe Maddon pointed out today that he thinks he'll be up here at some point. He has no doubt that the bat will play at this level. But just look around that clubhouse, some of the veteran guys, big personalities. It's asking a lot for him to manage that staff right away. The Cubs already have 3 catchers, veteran guys. As Joe said, there's a reason why the Cubs' numbers are so good. They're some of the best in baseball in terms of the pitching staff. But at the same time, sometimes you're not going to get finished products all the time. And, we saw what Kyle Schwarber did last year, even though he wasn't a fully formed defender. He obviously made a huge impact with his bat. And I think the noise is going to get louder for Wilson Contreras here pretty soon.
And last thing, the draft starts tomorrow. The Cubs, I don't think, even pick until Friday. The 104th pick will be their first. A very unique year for Jason McLeod and company. Having said that, would you expect more pitching this time around, or are they just going to continue to go best player at that slot?
I think it's going to wind up being all about pitching. They only have a little more than $2 million to play with. That's the smallest bonus pool in the majors this year. The guy they've been talking about is Jacob deGrom. The Mets had taken to him. I believe he was a position player coming out of college, and just looking for those attributes in terms of athleticism. Maybe the intellectual capacity to kind of make adjustments and a competitive nature. Those guys are out there, but the Cubs still know the odds are, I think Jason said something like half of all major league starting pitchers were drafted in the first 2 rounds, something along those lines. So those are the odds the Cubs are going up against. But you see all these hitters, how Joe Maddon has to juggle at bats to find everyone. So I think you got to go big on the arms this time.
All right, always great stuff from Patrick Mooney. CSNChicago.com for the latest on the Chicago Cubs. We're getting set for baseball. The Cubs and the Phillies coming up. We will hear from Joe Maddon when we come back. Rain delay. Let's hear from Joe Maddon, who talked about the Cubs and the way they built this club. Not only guys who get on base, but guys who can pick it on defense.
I think the intent was to, what you're talking about, to more contact, get guys on base, hopefully score more runs that way. But in the meantime, I think we've also identified good defenders that do the same. They're able to do both. I mean, they can play. They could work a good at bat, but go play some defense too. Whether it's Jason or Zobrist, particularly, have done a great job. I think a big difference also is like KB at third base, how well he's really come along. He's technically become a better third baseman just from mechanical. I've talked about his feet a lot. His throwing stroke is better because of his feet. He's done an outstanding job. So Addison's been great. Zoe's solid. The whole outfield. So, and like I said, today we got Baez at shortstop and giving Addy a day off, and you feel really good about it.
And you haven't seen anybody carry the struggles at the plate to the field. I mean, Addison's 1 for 15, but I think the note said he's only made one error, I think, in a month. Agreed.
I don't see anybody taking their bat to the plate. I have not seen it. And the beauty of the whole thing is I didn't even know he's 1 for 15. I didn't know that. I don't even look at those things. I work at the quality of the at bat. I notice when a guy's chasing or not. As an example, I notice when the guy's using the whole field, they're getting into pull mode. I notice those kind of things, but I never really equate the hits or batting average. I'm really happy that I can say that. So I didn't even know that. I think he's been chasing a little bit out of the zone. That's probably led to the 1 for 15. He's hit a couple balls well, like the line drive to center field the first night here. Caught, that happens. But, these guys don't take their bat to the plate. They don't do that.
Hazleton, Pennsylvania native Joe Maddon, able to catch up with some old friends and some family here in Philadelphia before the Cubs head to Atlanta for the weekend. And we found out after the game last night, Jim DeShays, that Travis Wood would have played left field.
Yeah,
if the Cubs had tied it.
Yeah, he had come in as a pinch runner. And Travis, a good athlete, would have been able to handle it. Would have been fun.
One of these days, it'll happen.
Yep.
Unseasonably cool here in Philadelphia. Temperatures in the 60s. But we will get this thing underway here in a couple of minutes. And some walk-offs last night. Boy, it was a dramatic night around Major League Baseball.
Two-0 pitch. Swinging away. Deep. Center field. That bad boy is gone! And the Reds win! Reds win! Joseph Daniel Votto. Walk-off home run. And the Reds win it over the Cardinals.
Drive to left field. Suzuki to the corner. That ball's gone! A home run! McGowan made the mistake, and Dozier made him pay. He left the breaking ball in. A two-run walk-off home run for Brian Dozier, and the Twins win the opener. Brian needed that. The Twins needed that. 4 home runs hit here tonight by the Twins.
Upton got it started with a single. Saw Tulamaki a walk. Now they're loaded up after the fielder's choice on the sac bunt. Bouncing ball, fair ball, and a walk-off win for the Tigers tonight.
What a great comeback tonight.
Ian Kinsler, an RBI single. The Tigers get 2 in the 9th and 1 in the 10th.
That's a happy group down there tonight.
The Tigers are 2 over the 500 mark for the first time since May the 4th. And they use a walk-off winner against the Blue Jays tonight.
So 1 out. And Will Myers in the driver's seat. And he lines it. Fair ball. The game is over. Myers with a walk-off single. And the Padres rally in the 9th for a 4-3 win. The only question about the ball off the bat, would it stay fair? And Myers lands it 3-4 feet inside the foul line, and the Padres win it 4-3.
And a fastball is whacked to left. And this one is gone. He has done it again. The Trace Thompson will hit the walk-off on May the 10th. It's a walk-off tonight. And the Dodgers after 3 runs in the first inning, are finally heard from again as Trace hits his 10th.
Good stuff. Votto with the home run. Same for Dozier. Tigers couple of games over. Will Myers beating the Braves, a team the Cubs will face this weekend. And Trace Thompson, good-looking young outfielder for the LA Dodgers. First pitch coming up right after the break. Vince Velasquez will throw it. John Lackey starting for the Cubs. Cubs baseball is next. And we're getting set for the Cubs and the Phillies. Cubs with an 8.5 game lead. Actually lost a game and a half from their lead in the division after the Pirates swept the Mets in a doubleheader yesterday. Cubs dropping a 3-2 decision here. 40-17 through the first 57 games. Phillies trying to get back to 500 today. They're at 29-30.
Very exciting day for young Albert Almora Jr. getting his first major league start. Always fun to watch a young guy break into the big leagues. They got a similar story in Pittsburgh today. Jameson Taillon, one of the more highly touted pitching prospects in all of baseball, is going to pitch for the Pirates today.
And the Phillies have taken the field behind right-hander Vince Velasquez. Let's get the Cubs Southwest starting lineup that will face him. Cubs averaging 5.35 runs per game, trailing only the Cardinals in that category in the National League. Cardinals at 5.4. Fowler, Hayward, and Bryant at the top. Rizzo, Zobrist, and Almora Jr. in the middle. Montero, Baez playing short for Russell, and John Lackey rounding it out.
Phillies in the field. Lineup thusly: Ashe, Herrera, Goodell left, center, right. Franco, Galvis, Hernandez, Howard on the infield. Cameron Rupp is behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher today for the Phillies is Vince Velasquez. He turned 24 years of age yesterday. 5-2 with a 3.67. Got off to a great start. He was 4-1 with a 1.44 ERA through his first 5 starts, but just 1-1 with an ERA of 6 over his last 6 outings.
Get the umpires for you. That's Mark Wegner back of the plate. Carlos Torres is at first. Vic Carapazza at second, and Mike Winters, the crew chief, at third. Looks like the field drained pretty well. Man, the warning tracks were underwater a couple of hours ago. We got a couple of torrential downpours.
Well, Mother Nature providing a pretty good blow dryer. I mean, wind is blowing pretty hard right now. The flag's whipping High above the stadium here. Snapping. Looked like they're blowing out to right.
Yeah, that wind was tricky last night, and that's why Chris Bryant had trouble with that first inning double by Galvis that led to their first run.
Do we know why there's 2 American flags?
I do not know.
Symbolism? Well, anyway, Velasquez has got a good arm. He's a hard thrower, sits comfortably around 94 miles an hour. He can get up around 100 from time to time.
Starts Fowler with an off-speed pitch for a strike. The leadoff man is presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. And if Dexter gets a hit, Binny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to the Greater Chicagoland Food Depository. Pretty well hit, but caught by Goodell on the warning track for the first out.
Maybe not as much of a helping win as I thought looking at the flags, because Dexter got into that one pretty well. Maybe had some top spin. Here comes the trainer and the manager, Pete McCannon, to check on the young right-hander.
Well, you know, his first 2 pitches were at 86 miles an hour, and I thought they were changeups. Could they have been fastballs? That's
He's
it.
done.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm guessing there was a conversation when he came out of the bullpen along the lines of, you know what, his bullpen wasn't real sharp. But yeah, 86 and then 87.
Yeah, that's fastball. That's not where he normally sits. So we will have an early pitching change. We'll be right back. What was the delay? It is time for the Midas Tire and Auto Service call to the pen, and left-hander Brett Oberholzer will get as much time as he needs as Velasquez exited after just 2 pitches and 1 out.
Oberholzer ready to go, and you saw the numbers there. Not pretty for the left-hander. Really been victimized by the long ball. 9 home runs allowed in 25 and a third inning. So initially the Cub hitters thought they were going to be dealing with a hard-throwing right-hander, and Just like that, the game plan changes with this finesse lefty Oberholzer out there.
Ball one on Hayward.
He called it a strike.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he called it late.
Strike one on Hayward. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. And it's 0-2. Wind really howling. 57 degrees on June 8th in Philadelphia.
The heck is going on here?
Craziness. 19-minute rain delay officially. 2 outs.
Oberholzer went to high school nearby Newcastle, Delaware. Came to the big leagues with the Astros in 2013. Worked primarily as a starting pitcher until his time here with the Phillies, where he's worked exclusively out of the bullpen. This is his first year in a Philly uniform.
At the knees for a strike on Bryant.
He likes his changeup, especially to right-handed batters.
He has come in throwing strikes. So this will be a bullpen day for the Phillies. Called strike 3, and the Cubs done in the first. John Lackey to the mound when we come back on a very windy day in Philadelphia. Against Velasquez and Oberholzer in the first. Here's how the Phillies will line up. Brought to you by Southwest. Herrera, Hernandez, Galvis 1 through 3. Franco Howard getting his second straight start. Cameron Rupp the catcher. It's Cody Ashe in left, Tyler Goodell in right, and the pitcher Velasquez, of course, out of the game. It will be Oberholzer or a pinch hitter when we get that far.
And the Cubs defensively today. There's Albert Almora Jr. making his first big league start. The 22-year-old patrols left. Extra Fowler's in center. Jason Hayward, the Gold Glover, in right. Bryant Baez, Zobers Rizzo on the infield. Miguel Montero behind the plate. Lexus starting pitcher. Big John Lackey. John looking for win number 7. 6-2, 2.88 ERA. League bats just 209 against him. 4 strikeouts for every walk. 4-4 lifetime against the Phillies in 8 starts with a 289 earned run average.
Here's Odubel Herrera, and he fouls off.
It's at least a 2-club wind here today. And it's going that way.
It swirls in here a little bit. John Lackey wears his uniform pretty loosely, so you can really see it blousing in the wind.
Yeah, it's a good thing you didn't wear your parachute pants today.
Bad.
That would have been ugly.
Two balls and a strike. Here it comes. 2-2.
Now, wind can be a factor. Obviously, the ball in the air influenced by the wind, but from a pitcher's point of view, wind may be the worst element to deal with. You know, if it's cold, you can handle that. If it's hot, you handle that. Just high wind, sometimes it's just hard to. It just doesn't feel right. No, that's not really digging in real deep, but just it's a little funky.
That finds a hole and into right for Herrera. So leadoff single, and it'll bring up Cesar Hernandez. It's been a pretty resilient bunch, hasn't it, the Phillies? You look at their offensive rankings, second to last in the league in runs, last in doubles, 12th in home runs. They don't walk much. And there you go. Back-to-back hits to start the first inning. Herrera on his way to third. They're at the corners with nobody out. Obviously, they've pitched extremely well. But if they win today, they're back to 500. A team that was not expected to do much.
A little running fastball there down near the bottom of the knees, and Hernandez shoots it into the left center gap, cut off nicely by Almora. Herrera easily into third base. So we see the Phillies aggressive here against Lackey, and that's typically the case. Everybody that scouts John Lackey knows he's very aggressive with that first pitch. So we see a lot of teams up there hacking early against him.
Swinging away is Galvis. Again, got to keep your feet moving on a day like this. And Herrera's going to try it. Here's the throw by Almora. He's going to get him. Welcome to the big leagues.
Indeed. How about that for a welcome to the big leagues moment?
Slightly surprised he went, as that ball was not very deep. But they tested the rookie.
Yeah, good, strong one-hop throw. Montero has to make a little bit of an adjustment to it, but plenty of time to get Herrera.
So 7-2 double play, and Lackey has a chance now to escape completely. On the play, Hernandez advanced to second.
Yeah, I would imagine the aggressive send there, byproduct of a couple things. One, they don't score a lot of runs, so maybe they're going to be a little overly aggressive. And two, because of the wind and kind of unsettled situation out there in the outfield.
Shallow center. Boy, three guys calling for it. Two infielders. Eventually, it's Fowler. It is going to be tricky out there, but Albert Almora Jr. already making an impact with his arm from left center, and we're still scoreless after one. presented by State Farm.
Cubs are the hottest ticket in town. Let's go. Your best option for future games is Monday through Thursday. Very limited availability on weekends throughout the summer. Don't wait. Plan now. Visit Cubs.com.
Sad news to pass along. Reports out of Venezuela. Former Cubs pitcher Ruben Quevedo has passed away at age 37. Apparently from a heart attack. As Rizzo lines out to Freddie Galvis. Quevedo also a Milwaukee Brewer for a time. His debut with the Cubs in 2000. That's sad. Here's Ben Zobrist. Thought he was going to hit lefty to start the game, but instead batting right-handed against the reliever Oberholzer. Well, it's a game of adjustments, and a lot of work spent this morning going over the scouting report against Velasquez. And instead, the only guy who faced him was Fowler. And it's possible this could be one of those days where you have 4 bats against 4 different pitchers.
Yeah, and those tend to be very tough days for the hitters.
One ball and 2 strikes. Zobrist 0 for 16 his last 6 games, but he has drawn 6 walks. On a hop to third, Franco will sling it across. And for our Xfinity high-speed action, and Albert Almora Jr., always known for his instincts in the outfield. One hop throw to get Herrera.
And quickly with the feet to position himself to get those shoulders squared up to make that throw home.
Center fielder by trade, but can play all 3 spots. Bounced out last night as a pinch hitter in his major league debut. He's got a lot of people back home in South Florida watching this game today, I'm sure. To third, Franco again, and Oberholzer has been efficient and has retired all 5 he's faced. Nothing early.
Chicago's Kelly Kroll for a taping of Beer Money at Jameson's Pub in southwest suburban Frankfort. Come out for the fun, test your sports trivia knowledge, and try to win cash. Beer Money presented by Coors Light.
Phillies will bat here in the bottom of the 2nd against John Lackey. Ryan Howard will lead it off. Ninth career start for Lackey against the Phillies. 4-4 with a 289. Howard 3 for 16 against him. He's homered twice. And he takes a fastball bottom of the zone for a strike.
Home run number 9 last night for Howard came on a first pitch curveball from Kyle Hendricks. A get over curveball, and Howard leaned on it. Tardy on the heater there. The big fella can still do that. Not hitting for average, strikes out a bunch, struggles defensively, but still a big, strong guy. And when he gets into one, and certainly capable of leaving the ballpark.
Still 1-2. Rupp and Ashe to follow.
Would you say tied for 80th now all time?
Yeah,
Howard,
Lance Berkman.
Home run list.
Yep. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. First strikeout for Lackey.
Lackey having a big strikeout year. Strikeout rate better than 26%. It's about 8 points better than his career strikeout rate. Slider's been a big reason why. It's been a big swing and miss pitch for him.
This is his 400th career appearance and his 399th career start. Fouled off by Cameron Rupp. I'm always intrigued by that kind of line, right? 400 career appearances and only 1 relief appearance. I have to ask John about it. It was 2004 while with the Angels. Hayward in right makes a catch. 2 down.
Well, the Cubs are performing on the field, but need your help to get to the All-Star game this July. Help send your Chicago All-Stars to San Diego by voting early, vote often, vote now at Cubs.com/vote. You can vote up to 5 times a day and up to 35 times total. Yeah, so extra inning game maybe.
Nope, it wasn't.
Abbreviated start the time before.
Nope, it wasn't.
Okay, we're doing a little baseball reference forensics here. You're trying to break down.
We are. Yeah, it was June 27th, 2004, a 10-5 loss at the Dodgers, and he pitched a scoreless 7th inning. Bartolo Colon gave up 8 runs in under 4 innings. Scott Shields went 2 1/3. They may have been just depleted bullpen.
Bullpen might have been out of gas.
So we'll ask him about it. But that's it. Every other appearance he's ever made in the regular season has been as a starter. 1-2 on Cody Ashe.
They say Gene Mauch used to do that back in the day, a longtime manager, that he would pour over the box scores in the morning paper the next day. This is before the interweb and all this, and he would try to recreate the game by looking at the box scores.
Absolutely, it's fun. Try to kind of come up with reasons why things happen.
Yeah.
There's a little bloop single for Ashe. So that keeps the Phillies alive here in the second, and will bring up Tyler Goodell. Right biceps soreness, the reason for Vince Velasquez's exit.
Sounds like a trip to the DL. Tendonitis or something, perhaps. Because they didn't waste any time. After 2 pitches, they said, nope, you're done.
Outside for a ball on Goodell.
Ashley can run a little bit, stole a base here last night.
Two balls, no strikes on the rookie.
Talk about the Phillies and their lack of offense. Their outfield, combined outfielders, have hit just 7 home runs this year.
Two and two. Pete McCannon looks on. And got Mark Wegner in the mask. Kicks away just for a second. Not enough to allow Ashley to advance. He will be on the move here. 3 and 2, 2 outs. And the payoff delivery at the end of the bat, foul. Just minutes ago, MLB released the updated voting for the All-Star game in the National League. Dexter Fowler has taken over the lead among outfielders.
Certainly deserving.
Yeah, he was behind, I believe, Bryce Harper last week, but has jumped past him. Anthony Rizzo, Ben Zobrist, Chris Bryant, and Addison Russell, all leading at their positions on the infield. Called strike 3 to end the inning. 2 in the books after a short rain delay. Scoreless. Coors Banquet timeless moment. On this date in 1955, the Dodgers optioned pitcher Tommy Lasorda, left-hander, to Montreal to make room for Sandy Koufax. How about that?
Hang with him, Tommy.
It worked out okay for Tommy Lasorda, who became a Hall of Fame manager. He only made 26 appearances in the major leagues, 8 with the then Brooklyn Dodgers, 18 with the Kansas City A's. There's a base hit for Montero, and the Cubs are on the hit board. A leadoff single and number 900 in Miguel's career. Now Javier Baez in a light rain.
That's the automatic throw over for the Phillies with a man on base. There's no way does Oberholzer really think that Montero's going anywhere. Oberholzer, originally an 8th round pick of the Atlanta Braves, traded along to Houston. Right-handed hitter's mindset would be make sure you respect that changeup, think middle of the diamond, trust that you can be quick enough to turn on the fastball. He's not a hard thrower, velocity a tick or two below big league average.
Hard hit on the ground. Montero will make the turn and head to third. And he is safe as the ball gets by. And heads up base running by Baez. He ends up at second. Looked like they had a shot at Montero at third, but the ball eluded Franco, the third baseman.
Yeah, initially I thought there was no chance at Montero and that the play should be to second base to keep the double play in order. Got to it in a hurry, and an accurate throw might have had a shot at it. Speed not being Miggy's best asset. Able to hustle on over there to third base, and then, as Len mentioned, good heads-up base running by Baez to stay with the play and get himself into scoring position.
So it's the pitcher Lackey, infield back, except for Franco at third, and the throw's going to go to the plate, and they're going to get him. So the infield playing back, but Hernandez saw that he had a shot at Montero, and he was right.
And I'm not so sure that Miggy didn't go because Baez was coming. I think Miggy was going to hold his ground, but Baez immediately broke for third base. Let's see if we can see it here. No, I guess he was just in go mode. Normally you would think you'd be able to score on this ball, but it was so sharply hit, and he did not have a real big secondary lead coming down the line. It was not a contact play. It's a read it off the bat play.
So first and third, and Dexter Fowler bounces to second. Tag applied. Double play. Inning over.
Getting to be a theme in this series.
Man. So the Cubs, with a great chance, cannot get on the board.
Welcome back. Time now for greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Let's check in with the Major League Baseball home run leaders. Boy, Mark Trumbo having a resurgent year with 20. Todd Frazier doing his thing on the south side. Nato and Adam Duvall. How about the year that kid is having? And of course, the Trevor Story continues to be a story. It's a Cinderella story. A lot of good young players in the game. But the whole NL Rookie of the Year thing, man, it's going to be wide open.
Chris Bryant, I guess we call him the reigning Rookie of the Year, but it's not an award he could win again.
No.
So,
but he can go to the dinner and give the green jacket to the new Rookie of the Year.
Sure. Here's Oberholzer, the pitcher. He has pitched very well in relief of the injured Vince Velasquez.
Reminiscent perhaps of the 4-inning outing that Travis Wood had coming in behind Jason Hamill when he had to leave after 2 innings. Back on the homestand.
Seven career plate appearances coming in. 1 for 4 with a walk. 2 sack bunts. Comes a pitch. Bounce towards center, but not hit hard, and that allows Bias to get over there. Low throw, but Rizzo digs it out. Here's Herrera.
And Lackey doing what Lackey does. First pitch strikes to 7 of 9 batters so far.
As the Phillies, they're in that mode of identifying who's going to be a part of their long-term, what they hope is success, and I think Herrera is one of those guys as he quickly bounces out. 2 down.
Yeah, he's a good-looking player. Folks, legendary jam band Fish makes its Wrigley Field debut. They'll be there Friday, June 24th, and then again on Saturday, the 25th. Secure the best seats in the house at Cubs.com. A limited number of private suites are still available. Call the Premier team at 773-404-4200 or visit Cubs.com/Premier. Hernandez, a good bunter, and he's at least shown bunt a number of times in these games between the Cubs and the Phils.
1-1.
Two-out bunt doesn't do you a whole lot of good unless you're willing to steal second base.
And now with 2 strikes, the third baseman Bryant backs up.
Bizarre weather day here. Moments ago it was raining pretty good. Now the sun is out. Wind continues to blow.
And Lackey makes quick work of the Phillies in the 3rd. Still no runs. Think Mortgage in Chicago. Think eClick Lending. Whether looking to purchase or refi, never pay lender fees with eClick Lending. Visit us online at eclicklending.com to lock in your low rate today. eClick Lending. Point, click, save. Oberholzer to Hayward. Ball one. Cubs are 13-4-1 in series play so far this season. Go back to July 29th of last year. Their last 120 games, they're 50 over 500, 85-35. That happened to coincide right around the time when they were no hit by Cole Hamels. Right after that, they went on that ridiculous run to finish 2015. Outside, it was close. 2-2.
So if they go into a little bit of a tailspin, we should hope they get no hit.
I don't know if it's causal or more coincidental.
Tremendous bounce back after the no-hitter.
But I do recall a lot of angst about the Cubs getting no hit for the first time since 1965, and in the end it didn't really mean anything on a grander scale.
Angst from the
fans, I think. Yeah, they got swept.
Yeah.
You know, the Phillies were way under 500. What's going on? Is this, it's baseball.
It's part of being a fan. You get to stress out, even when those that are in the game say, "No, that's okay. It happens." I believe it was Tommy Lasorda, and I think it was when he was managing in the minor leagues, probably in Albuquerque or somewhere. His team went through a bad stretch and lost 8 or 9 in a row, and he was trying to rally the troops, and he said even the 27 Yankees lost 9 in a row, and then somebody looked it up, and no, not even close. He just
made it up. You say it with conviction, people will believe it.
You can do anything you want if you just put your mind to it. That's not true. Not even close to true.
There's a 9th pitch of the at bat, and Hayward hits a bullet foul to right.
Talked about Oberholzer earlier in his home run issues, and it's been both right and left-handed batters that have done damage against him. Lefties have an OPS over 1,000 against him.
And he has been right around that strike zone in this at bat, and eventually he walks Hayward.
Loud foul may have scared him out of the strike zone, but a good battle put up by Hayward and Oberholzer for that matter. Hayward wins the battle, takes the walk. Nothing doing yet in the Philly bullpen. But, boy, he spent a lot of time in the strike zone. Phillies pitching has been pretty good. That's why they've been able to hang around 500 despite the lack of run scoring. We saw Jared Eichhoff, young right-hander last night, 25-year-old right-hander, and he was really good. 7 innings, he allowed just 2 hits and 1 run, struck out 8. Talking with John Maley last evening after the game, And he said maybe the best pitching performance against the Cubs this year from Eichhoff.
Sure looked that way from up here. His slider was utilized a lot and was very effective.
Yeah, when you could command both breaking balls the way he did, you know, he really likes his curveball, but the slider was a big weapon last night, and fastball command was outstanding.
Bryant making his 33rd start at third. He's made 17 starts in left, 5 in right, 2 at first, and just for fun added 1 inning at short. Fans aren't booing because it's the home pitcher throwing to first. If it were John Lackey, you'd hear a lot of boo.
Come on, throw the ball. You'd be hanging up those chickens at Olympic Stadium.
Swing and a miss on a change. 1-2 to Chris. Good success in this ballpark here these first couple of series here for him. 11 out of 28 with a home run. Nearly hit a couple homers Monday night. Ended up being doubles. Ready for a 1-2, and it's up and in.
It'll show me fastball to push him off the plate. Now he's got options. He can go back to that changeup down and away, or double up, try to throw a fastball in on the hands and perhaps pop him up and do some weak contact. Bryant's been good in there. He's pretty quick to that inside fastball.
Hayward got a good jump. That ball hooked to left. It's going to be caught. Hayward able to get back to first. Ashley makes the grab. One away.
37 pitches for Oberholtz, so we'll see how long Pete McCannon decides to stay with him if he continues to pitch effectively. Earlier this year he had a couple long relief outings, 3 1/3 and then a 4-inning outing.
Rizzo lined out his first time up. And takes a strike. 6-game hitting streak coming in. Average has gone from 236 up to its current 259. Knocked down by Rupp. Called foul.
Man, they're really locked in on Jason Hayward over there at first base. It was off Oberholzer the other night when Rizzo got that base hit to left on a breaking ball that was about a foot outside.
For the shortstop, Galvis. He feeds Hernandez, and a quick turn. A 6-4-3 inning ender. So the Cubs waste the leadoff walk. Still scoreless midway in the fourth. Follow in-game live on CSNChicago.com, presented by State Farm. One attempt, Freddie Galvis. Foul. He started the 6-4-3 double play to end the top of this inning.
Phillies have turned 2 double plays today. They turned 2 in the ball game yesterday. Game-saving double play in the 8th inning.
Oh, 2. Cubs' next opponent, the 16-42 Atlanta Braves. They've dropped 6 in a row. Worst record in baseball. They've got a matinee in San Diego today. Julio Teheran and Drew Pomeranz. That's a good matchup. Both guys with a sub-3 earned run average.
Yeah, not a lot of good news for either one of those clubs this year, but those 2 guys have been positive stories. Pomeranz threw a dandy against the Cubs, had a bunch of strikeouts.
Knocked down Galvis. He decided to do a push-up.
Yeah, next time.
Off.
Yeah, I want to see a guy maybe do some mountain climbers down there next time. Some squat thrusts.
Lines to Zobrist. Yeah, if you just had one big league, no divisions, the Cubs would be in first place. The Braves would be in 30th, 24.5 games out.
And the Atlantas, boy, it's their final season at Turner Stadium, and they're not having a lot of fun there. They're 6-23 in their home ballpark. John Lackey had a 2.09 earned run average in the month of May. He's made one start in June already, and that was 6 2/3 scoreless against the Diamondbacks. Gives you an idea of how good he's been over the last 7 or 8 starts.
Yeah, 11 starts total coming in. At least 6 starts, 6 innings 10 times. At least 7 innings, 6 of the 11. He's gone 8 innings twice. The volume of work has been impressive.
And because he's been so efficient, it's not like he's running high pitch counts.
Right.
To pitch all those innings.
Full count on Maikel Franco. That is foul. Going into today, the Toronto Blue Jays starters leading the majors in innings. Giants second, Cubs third. That's a strikeout. Call made by the home plate umpire, Mark Wegner.
See a little Laredo fastball there from Lackey. And Franco, yeah, he went.
No doubt. Here's Howard, and he fouls back. One other game going on right now. The Blue Jays lead the Tigers in Detroit 5-2 as they go to the 5th inning there.
Tigers have been winning a lot of ball games lately.
They have. Smoke and Donaldson have homered for the Jays. Castellanos for Detroit. That's Dickey against Zimmerman.
Tigers have won 5 in a row. 2 games better than 500. 2.5 behind the first place Indians.
Kind of fun for the Blue Jays right now, isn't it? Bautista and Donaldson hitting 1-2.
Are they really?
Yeah. Yeah, for quite a while now. It's been Bautista, Donaldson, and Encarnacion. 1, 2, 3. Top the Blue Jays order. Rupp is on deck. 2-2 the count on Ryan Howard. Scoreless tie, 4th inning. Swing and a miss. Howard has struck out twice. 5 for Lackey. And we go to the 5th. Cubs still looking for the first run of the ball game. Great statue of Harry Kalas.
Welcome back. Grab your cowboy hats and boots for John and Farrah Lester's Never Quit Goes Country fundraiser at Joe's Bar on Weed Street. It'll happen on Wednesday, July 6th, beginning at 6 p.m. Join John and Farrah, Cub players and coaches for a night of country music, interactive carnival games, food, and much more. Tickets on sale now at Cubs.com/neverquit.
Oberholzer to Zobrist. Ball one low. Oberholzer has been very good in relief of the injured Vince Velasquez, who after 2 pitches and 1 out had to leave with sore biceps. Looked like he threw a couple of fastballs at about 86 or 87. And that was it. Ground foul past Gary Jones at third.
Oberholzer has been effective because he's got that good changeup, and he's shown a willingness to throw his fastball in on the hands of these right-handed hitters.
Well, he made 32 starts combined the last 2 years with the Astros, so this is not unfamiliar territory. His high pitch count this year, 64 pitches back on April 7th.
Genmar Gomez, their closer, who's having a fine year, worked 2 innings to get the save last night. Came in with the bases loaded, nobody out, and a 2-run lead. Locked things down. So he may not be available today. Through 25 pitches. It's just kind of, the magic number for a lot of managers. If a reliever goes 25, 30 pitches, they like to shut him down. Now, so he didn't throw that many pitches, but the fact that he threw 2 innings in the ball game may influence his usage here today.
Zobrist smacks one into center. So his first hit in a while. First base hit in 7 games, in fact.
It's a funky game, isn't it? How a guy can be going along as well as he was and then hit a skid like that. It'd be one thing to cool off a little bit, but he went from scorching to just having some real ugly ABs.
As Almora Jr. digs in, we want to welcome all our viewers watching on Heart of Iowa Communications in Union, Iowa. Almora was the Cubs' first draft pick under the Theo Epstein regime.
Stock had fallen a little bit in the eyes of some of the evaluators, those top prospect lists that he was near the top of there for a couple of years. But first go around at AA, he regressed a little bit. But, had a good year with the bat last year and doing an outstanding job at AAA this season.
6th overall pick in the 2012 draft. Carlos Correa went number 1 that year. Addison Russell went 5 picks after Almora. Russell to the A's. Almora is from Hialeah, Florida. That's in the Miami area. His father, Albert Sr., has been battling prostate cancer for a while. Getting married this year. Child on the way. It's been a big year personally for him and professionally as well. First rookie to make an appearance with the Cubs this year. Last night in their 57th game. That was the deepest they had ever gone into a season before using a rookie player. Shoots that one foul to right.
Good coverage there with 2 strikes. You see him simplifying his approach a little bit with 2 strikes. A little quieter with the lower body, trying to use the hands. Sacrificing power for contact.
High fly ball into left center. And it'll be taken by Herrera. And Albert's 0 for 2. His first major league start. Montero 1 for 1. Yeah, so if you look at Almora Jr. all along, he's been about 3 years younger than the average age at every level. And almost 5 years younger than the average AAA player going into this season. So to say he's somehow behind the curve is totally inaccurate. "22 years old." And here he is in the majors.
Right. That's, people get frustrated sometimes, get impatient when a young kid is drafted that high, but you have to remember he was drafted out of high school.
And he was just 18 years old. The Cubs have done a pretty remarkable job of not rushing any of the prospects, and along the way it had to be tempting on some level, right?
Well, yeah, but, probably pressure from outside, from the fan base.
Bounce back to the pitcher. Oberholzer, bad throw though, and they're not going to get anybody out. Well, he rushed it. It does happen more than you'd think. Pitcher's throwing to second base. And he'll be charged with an error.
Yeah, what happens is you get greedy. You want that double play so badly, you get in a hurry. And just a good, strong, accurate throw would have gotten the job done. So we're staring down the barrel. The Cubs were of yet another double play.
Maybe the one guy of all of them, I wouldn't say they rushed him, but I would say he got to the big leagues before he was really polished, was Baez. But that was a bit by design.
And you know, Schwarber, the bat, you know, they knew the bat was big league ready. There were some concerns about the defense, but you know, the role that he was going to be used in, and his bat was so advanced.
I think in the case of Baez, they wanted to see how he handled major league pitching. And they kind of felt like his final, whatever, 6 or 8 weeks a couple of years ago would take him into the offseason and allow him to make the appropriate adjustments. Out, that ball rocketed into his own dugout. Yeah, 52 games in 2014. Baez hit 169. He struck out 95 times in 229 plate appearances, and at times it was not pretty.
Man, I think sometimes as an organization you're trying to deliver a message to a player too. There's been a lot of talk about Baez and his approach at the plate. The big swing, not willing to change his approach in certain situations. So, you know, bring a guy to the big leagues, expose him to the best pitching. You know, not necessarily that you hope that he fails, but you know that if he does struggle, that, you know, there's a chance to learn a lesson there. I think the Javi Baez story is interesting too, in that he's kind of like Chris Bryant. And before we saw him, what we heard about him was the bat speed and the tremendous power. Now that we've seen him play, what gets your attention is his defensive ability, the base running, the great hands, the ability to play a lot of different positions and play them all extremely well. And he's still just a puppy too, so you expect the work at home plate to improve. But even if he doesn't become the guy you thought he was going to be with the bat, he still has a chance to be a really good major league player.
Yep.
.60 pitches now for Oberholzer. Andrew Bailey is up in the Philly bullpen.
Baez bounces toward left, through. Zobrist will head to the plate, and he's in safely, and the Cubs lead 1-0 on Javier Baez's RBI single. That will be it for Oberholzer.
First blood. He's out in front of this pitch. Kind of rolls over on it, but gets enough of it to squeak it through that hole on the left side of the infield.
So pitching change. Oberholzer was one good throw away from maybe getting out of the inning completely, but he'll exit trailing 1-0. It is time for the Midas Tire and Auto Service call to the pen. And here is right-hander Andrew Bailey.
Veteran right-hander has appeared in 18 games. 3-0 with a .306. Strikeout per inning. Just shy thereof. $1.69 the batting average against. Fastball, cutter, and a curve.
Slide and block by the catcher Rupp. First and second, a run in. Taken all the way for a strike. It's 1-2. Dangles that ball.
Joe doesn't like to bunt, but take the bunts in order here with Fowler on deck.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, 2 outs.
fearful of the ground ball double play.
Yep.
So not the worst case scenario, the punch out there by Lackey.
Because if you think you're going to hit into a double play, you should strike out.
It's the positive, the power of positive thinking.
I think it was Bob Brenly's hitting coach once told him that. Yeah.
If you have a notion, if it crosses your mind that you think you're going to hit into a double play here, go ahead and punch out. Take one for the team.
Walk back in the dugout. I did that for you guys.
Yep.
I'm a team player. 1-0 to Fowler. Two balls, no strikes. Bailey has been an Athletic, a Red Sox, a Yankee, and now Philly. Best stretch of his career was right off the bat. First 2 years he was an all-star with the A's. An awkward swing there.
Well, Phillies may have found something when Bailey gets back to form. He was a non-roster invitee to spring training.
Oh, it was Reggie Smith, his teammate. Told Bob that. Not hit hard, and it'll be Hernandez to get to it. That'll end the inning. The Cubs do get the first run on the Baez RBI single, and it's 1-0 in the fifth.
The Chicago Cubs baseball summer camps presented by ATI Physical Therapy and Ideal Industries. Young sluggers ages 5 to 13 will suit up in Cubs gear, meet a current Cub player. We'll do that at Wrigley Field. And you will receive top-notch baseball instruction. Evanston and Palatine camps have sold out, but limited spots are still available at Naperville and the Lake Forest locations.
Couple of Texas guys battling here. Lackey and Rupp. Lackey from Abilene, Rupp from Plano.
Plano, man, at high school there, they turned out a lot of outstanding athletes. Rupp went on to play at the University of Texas. John Lackey played at Grayson Community College.
2-2.
Rupp's a strong individual, man. He's a big guy for a catcher.
Yep.
Hit 9 home runs last year. 299 plate appearances. Certainly strong enough to hit the ball out of the ballpark a little more frequently, but he hits the ball on the ground a lot. I would have to make some swing adjustments. Needs to work on that launch angle.
3-2. We got under this one. And the wind's going to carry it over to Hayward, and Fowler ran into him, but they're all right. Yeah, the wind made that an F9. It looked like it was going to be Fowler's ball until the last second.
But the deal here is, too, in a day game, tough sky and a very windy day, neither guy can afford to take his eye off the ball. So full concentration on the baseball. Sometimes you end up running into each other out there.
The final line on Brett Oberholzer today was very good. 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 run unearned because of his error. 1 walk, 1 strikeout.
Yeah, I got that emergency call. It was 1 batter, 2 pitches into the ball game. Did a very nice job.
Fastball off the inside corner to Ashe, who recently came off the disabled list. 3 hits for the Phils, all singles over the first 2 innings. Actually, the first 2 men Lackey faced in this game reached base. And a big play by Albert Almora Jr. throwing out Odubel Herrera at the plate. That's a strike. It's 3-2. We'll try it again. And all those walk-offs we showed you before the first pitch. The Red Sox with a 10-inning victory on the road in San Francisco last night. Xander Bogaerts, 2-run single. That one lined to right. Hayward in, the slide, and the catch.
The acknowledgement from John Lackey. Boy, he got a great break on that ball. Ball lined like this. Usually an outfielder hesitates a little bit to get a read on it, but he was on the move in a hurry.
We'll bring up Goodell, the right fielder. John Lackey approves. How about all the hitting streaks? The Red Sox offense has been incredible this year. Dustin Pedroia's got a 14-gamer. David Ortiz had his end at 13. A couple of guys over 20 this year. Lackey with a 1-2-3 inning, getting some help from his outfield defense in this game. Hall goes on the road with David Ross as the Cubs catcher takes viewers for a behind-the-scenes look at his pregame prep during a recent series in St. Louis. Don't miss On the Road with David Ross tomorrow night on Sportsnet Central. Hayward, Bryant, and Rizzo against the right-hander Bailey in a first-pitch strike. And Jason, 1 out of 8, 2 walks and a 2-run homer in the series. And he waits on an 0-1 and he lines one into right. The leadoff single.
Yeah, he's better down than up. That ball down, he's pretty good at going down there and putting a good swing on it.
Bryant caught looking in the first, line to left in the fourth. Those at bats against the lefty Oberholzer. 93, upper part of the zone for a strike.
And Billy didn't throw over.
What's the deal?
I don't know. I always throw over when a guy gets on. He's a contrarian. Strong pull on the infield for Bryant. And Herrera, the center fielder, actually plays him a step the other way. So a little more room to operate in left center.
Part of the daily stat pack we receive. Got a page titled National League Batting Departmental Leaders. And there are Cubs all over this page. Underlined. Bryant has scored 42 runs behind only Nolan Arenado's 43. He's in the top 10 in total bases with 115. Anthony Rizzo came in tied for second in RBIs. And Bryant crushes one to left. And it's gone. 3-0 Cubs.
Really doesn't matter a whole lot where you're playing a guy when he hits it up there. That was an impressive swing of the bat. Well, they break through for one in the fifth off Oberholzer, and now Bryant providing a little cushion with this swing of the bat.
Ford home run replay. And we just jumped past a few guys in the RBI category. 42 and 43. Home run number 14. And scores his 43rd run.
Wouldn't it be cool if that page you're looking at, if the numbers change right before your very eyes?
It would.
That would be like Hogwarts.
He left little doubt about that one after just missing a couple on Monday.
Yeah, this is a good hitter's ballpark too. If Chris Bryant played his home games here, yikes.
Rizzo got jammed, broke his bat.
And people will say, what are you talking about? He plays his home games at Wrigley Field. That's a hitter's paradise. Well,
not all the time.
No.
In fact, more often than not, the wind blows in. StatCast says 432 feet. 107 mile an hour exit velocity on that home run.
And if anything, the wind's going to knock that ball down a little bit, I think.
I don't think it helped.
Facing on the flags, it certainly didn't help, yeah.
Rizzo makes the first out here in the 6th. And it'll bring up Ben Zobrist.
A couple of rookies of the year chatting right there. Eric Hinske, the assistant hitting coach. And Chris Bryant. Hinske won that award with Toronto at 2001. Does that sound right?
It was 01 or 02. It was 2002. Andrew Bailey was the American League Rookie of the Year. And 09. Two-1 on Zobrist.
Right-handed Ben was 1 for 2 today.
And he drives this one out into deep center. Back on it, Herrera. Gone! Ben Zobrist goes yard. 4-0.
Left-handed Ben just went deep. And a little funk he was in appears to be over.
Number 8 for Zobrist. A Ford home run replay.
Powerful swing, quick hands, and then slow motion applause.
Mora Jr. foul tips. Albert 0 for 3 to start his big league career.
Pulling off a little bit.
He slaps that one to right, but it drops foul. According to Baseball Reference, the 18,753rd player to make his major league debut. And he went. And that's a strikeout. Ball actually got away from the catcher, Rupp.
Bailey thinks he's got 3 outs, but he doesn't, so he's going to have to take the walk of shame back to the mound. It's just after you've given up a couple home runs in an inning and 3 runs, you're like, you want the inning to be over so badly. And he had Albert in swing mode there, and he could not check on that breaking pitch.
Strike 1 to Montero. So some leg room now for John Lackey.
I get the sense that players are friendlier to the opposition nowadays. You know, obviously, Manny Machado punching Yordan Ventura last night was not particularly friendly, but just in general, in terms of like bench jockeying and things of that nature.
Maybe less harsh.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking back in the day, Bailey walking off the mound, there would have been some people in that visiting dugout just lighting him up.
Yeah, I think
get back out there and take your beating.
Montero bounces one to the opposite side. Long throw on a hop. Galvis gets him. By the way, I hear the Phillies radio guys are really beating you up on the air right now. We're going to find out what that's all about.
Fossil Anderson?
Yeah, yeah. Chris Bryant with a 2-run homer to left. A couple batters later, it was Zobrist just to the right of center. 4-0.
Host your clients and guests at Wrigley Field's largest luxury suite, the Fannie Mae Bleacher Suite. This climate-controlled, all-inclusive area provides guests a unique view of the ballpark in the center field batter's eye. It's perfect for socializing and networking, with Wrigley Field serving as the backdrop. For more information and to purchase, visit Cubs.com/premier.
Switch hitting Jimmy Paredes will pitch hit here in the 6th for Bailey. John Lackey with a 4-0 edge. 1 ball, no strikes.
That starting pitching continues to be the main story for this Cubs team. Lackey has retired 3, 6, 9, 10 in a row. Seems like every day we're rattling off a number like that.
Yep. Kyle Hendricks held to just 5 innings last night. Probably could have gone 7. But lifted for a pinch hitter in the 6th. Hit hard, but on the ground to Zobrist, who makes the play.
Focused on the Cubs defensively in our pregame, in our open, and it's Zobrist has yet to make an error this year. Saw the great play by Hayward in right field. There's the line on Lackey this afternoon. 5 1/3 scoreless, 3 hits, 5 punches. Hasn't walked anybody. It's becoming fairly typical. Cubs rotation coming into this ball game with a 2.34 earned run average, almost a full run better than the Mets, who are second best.
Strike on Herrera. An interesting setup. That's that front foot. You can actually see the bottom of his foot. It's kind of an awkward way to stand, but it works for him.
Yeah, and if you're a hitting coach, as long as the guy's having results, why mess with it? Whatever it takes, and he's hitting for a high average. He's taking his walks.
And he and Lackey exchanging glances as Herrera thought Lackey didn't give him enough time to get ready.
Yeah, well, if you're not ready to hit, you better ask for time. And Lackey's ready to go. He gets the ball back quickly, back on the rubber. Oh yeah, he was all messed up in front of the changeup, well behind the heater.
6th strikeout for Lackey against 0 walks.
And we talked about this in John's last start. Pitcher can upset a hitter's timing, not only with pitch selection, but how quickly he unloads to home plate. We talk about that as a way to shut down the running game, but sometimes holding the ball a little bit longer before you come home, even with nobody on base, or working quickly, you just, hitters get into a rhythm. They're used to you having a certain rhythm on the mound. So if you can alter that rhythm as a pitcher without losing command of your pitches, that's a heck of a weapon.
2-0 on Hernandez. Left center, and it will be Fowler. And then the inning is over. That is 4 consecutive 1-2-3s now for Lackey.
We head to the 7th inning. Whether the Cubs are home or on the road, get a behind-the-scenes look at beautiful Wrigley Field. The Cubs offer guided tours that include a chance to actually step on the field. This must-see Chicago attraction houses over 100 years of history. For more information, visit Cubs.com/tours.
Colton Murray, the right-hander, takes over for the Phillies. Velasquez, Oberholzer, Bailey, and Murray.
Murray's got a good arm. Average fastball velocity right around 94 miles an hour. Throws a curveball and a change. He likes the curveball a little bit more, than the slider. Rarely uses the changeup.
Baez to start it in the 7th. The pitch. Ball 1. You mentioned Jameson Taillon will make his major league debut for the Pirates tonight. James Shields will make his White Sox debut after being acquired from the Padres. It'll be against the Washington Nationals.
White Sox looking for a hero. They've been in a pretty good skid for a while now. They've lost 4 in a row.
Leto struggled last night. Baez bounces foul. They've lost 19 out of 25.
Interesting. The AL Central, interesting, right? A lot of teams bunched together there. The White Sox, despite that rough stretch, still just 3.5 games back.
Yep. That one hit hard to left, and it's going to one-hop the wall. Ashe will retrieve. Baez has a double. And he's 3 for 3.
Yeah. Nice day for Javi. 2 singles. The last one an RBI single that got the Cubs on the board, and now leadoff double.
Average from 248 up to 267 with the 3 for 3. Cubs missed Zach Greinke in the Diamondbacks series, and he has become Zach Greinke again. He threw a 3-hitter last night to beat Tampa Bay 5-0. First shutout for him since 2013 when he was a Dodger. I think he just booed himself.
He ended up having an ongoing conversation here about this whole sequence. Well, square early, set the bat at the top of the strike zone. And sometimes you can square a little too early.
He gets it down, and he will be tagged out.
Very nice.
By Murray. Not going to rain again, is it? See some very dark clouds nearing the ballpark.
Phillies will pull the infield in here. Fowler 0 for 3 so far today. He hasn't taken too many 0-fers this year. He has been crushing fastballs.
It was a fastball,
yeah.
4 strike. Rangers beat the Astros again last night, 4-3. Ian Desmond with the big 2-run homer in the 8th. Texas is 8-0 versus Houston this year. Swing and a miss. Astros will get another shot to snap what is now a 12-game losing streak in Arlington.
Just saying, might be time to break out a little voodoo, a little magic. I got the spell if they're interested.
What's that?
Turner be turned, burner be burned, let nothing but good come from this wood. Spit on it, light it on fire. Got to have the twigs of a certain tree.
Okay.
We did it years ago. We had when I was with the Astros playing, we had a long losing streak at Jack Murphy Stadium.
Did that ritual work?
Yes.
Not that it can be proven. I will buy your story. Is Fowler takes a called third. 2 outs.
Best pitch he had to hit in the sequence, that first pitch fastball. This time Murray gets the call right on the edge with that breaking pitch. So an empty trip for Dexter with a man on third and a chance for Hayward now to pick him up. Jason, a base hit last time on a breaking ball that was down, and you saw Rupp calling for the elevated fastball that time for Murray. That's fairly typical for big, tall guys. Easier for them to drop the head of the bat down on a low ball than to get on top of a high pitch.
0-2.
Has to be aware of the potential for a ball in the dirt here, especially that curveball of Murray's. Could be a bounce pitch.
Called strike 3, and the inning is over. So Murray escapes. Stretch time, 4-0 Cubs. Cubs upcoming game schedule brought to you by Travel Wisconsin. Plan your fun today at travelwisconsin.com. Here's what's left of the pod trip. This is just the awe portion. 3 in Atlanta and then 3 in Washington. An off day tomorrow.
You gonna go fishing tomorrow?
I am not going fishing. There are members of the traveling party who are headed over to Lake Lanier,
yeah,
to do some fishing. Golfed into left, and it's caught by Almora. Galvis. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Tricky wind out there. Almora had to battle it a little bit.
Fourteen consecutive batters retired by John Lackey.
Wind is picking up in intensity and starting to rain a little bit too.
Well, I see some fans scattering.
Get to the root cellar.
One and one to Franco. Now 1-2.
We talk a lot about first strike percentage for Lackey and how important it is to get the jump on hitters. Not just strike one, but a lot of times what pitching coaches really preach is 2 strikes out of the first 3 pitches. And grades out very well in that regard too.
Hands over his head and the 1-2. Look at that late swing by Franco. He took that ball right out of Montero's mitt. Now 2-2. Largest crowd of the series, 28,650. And a lot of kids.
The draft starts tomorrow, correct? Phillies have the first pick.
Yeah, tomorrow night, I think. We'll run through Saturday. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
Oh, kind of an ugly AB there for Franco. 0 for 3 today with a couple of punch outs. Lackey doesn't make his pitch, but he gets an ugly swing from Franco anyway.
Howard cracked his bat.
This is the anniversary of the very first Major League draft in 1965. Rick Monday was chosen by the Kansas City Athletics out of Arizona State University.
They used to have a January draft. And Chris Bosio was a second rounder in 1982. And the Milwaukee Brewers. He was taken the previous June in the 29th round by the Pirates, but did not sign. So the January draft was for guys who didn't sign in the previous June draft.
Junior college players, right?
Yeah. It was Sacramento City College. Yeah, in that previous draft, the Phillies, I guess, wanted him. And then he hurt his elbow.
Also drafted in that 65 draft, Nolan Ryan in the 10th round by the Mets.
Howard held on his swing. It's 2-2. That time he went, and Howard can't believe it. But the inning is over, and they go down in order again. They haven't had a base runner since the second inning, and it's still 4-0 Cubs. Jason Hamill and the Cubs open up a weekend set against the Braves. First pitch, 6:30 Central, right here on CSN Chicago. We have a new manager, Brian Snitker, on an interim basis, taking over for Freddie Gonzalez. So Hamill, Norris, Arrieta, Whistler, Lester, Perez.
Perez had to come out of his last start.
He did.
Injury
yes.
of sorts.
I think it was triceps. Yeah, triceps soreness. Chris Bryant homered his last at bat. And a single to the opposite way this time. Ryan Howard, the only infielder over on that side of second base.
Cracked his bat. He got a knock. Anthony hitless so far today.
Runner goes. Here's the throw, and it gets away. Bryant is in safely. Just his second so far. Stole 13 last year. Mentioned some Southern League AA All-Stars in the Cubs system. 6 of them, I believe, last night. There's some Carolina League All-Stars from the Cubs affiliate in Myrtle Beach. Right-handers Trevor Clifton, Zach Hedges, and Jake Stinnett will participate in the California Carolina League All-Star game. So 2 high A leagues.
Is that new?
Battle. I don't think that's new. At least I think they did it last year. Slicing drive to left, and it's going to get to the barrier. Bryant will trot home. Rizzo on his way to second with an RBI double. He's got a 7-game hitting streak, and it's 5-0.
Yeah, nothing wrong with playing a little add-on. You feel very comfortable with the way John Lackey's going in this somewhat anemic Philly offense, but always good to add on late. This is a good pitch. 95 at the knees, outside corner. Of course, outside corner is very reachable for Big Riz.
Back-to-back no-out hits. Here's Zobrist. 2 for 3. And a hefty home run. Bryant to left. Followed by Zobrist 2 batters later in the 6th.
Number 14 for Bryant, number 8 for Zobrist.
10th time the Cubs have hit multiple homers in the same inning. Jamer Candelario has been promoted to AAA just after being named a Southern League All-Star.
Good looking young player.
22 years old. Low batting average, .219. But certainly impressed Joe Maddon in spring training.
Yeah, he's
switch hitter.
Ball really jumps off his bat.
3rd in the Southern League in doubles and walks. Mark Zagunis will also make his AAA debut. An outfielder, so he gets promoted. Also an all-star, 23 years old, hitting .302. Ranking second in the league in on-base percentage. You know, it's easy to say that there isn't as much interest in the farm system or the draft because it's all about the big league club, but I actually don't believe that. I think it's the opposite. I think the major league club's success actually creates more interest in the entire organization. Now, we spent more time maybe 2 or 3 years ago talking about the system. As Rizzo will advance to third, Galvis gets Zobrist. But I think the interest in what's going on down on the farm, I think it's at an all-time high among Cub fans.
Yeah, Well, I think there's different level of fans. I think some fans probably don't pay attention at all to what's going on in the minor leagues, but you know, because of the internet, because there's so much information out there now about the minor leagues, I think there are a lot of fans that are clued in. It's not just about who's on the way here, but what assets do the Cubs have if they need to make or look to make a trade at the trade deadline. You know, if they're trying to play that game of who do we match up with, if Theo and Jed are looking for a little help in the bullpen, where are we going to find it and what do they need?
Infield in against Almora, and I think the fact that we've known about and have talked about Albert Almora Jr. since the day he was drafted maybe has led to some of the idea that he was behind everybody else. Well, he wasn't. He's been in the system for a few years. Sure, he'd love to get that first major league knock in this spot. And the man at third and 1 out.
A little anxious last time, went out of the zone, ended up striking out on a bad breaking ball.
I gave you 10 guesses at the last Cub to wear number 5. I don't think you'd get it.
Speed Racer. No.
Bit of a trick question, I guess. Bounce back to the pitcher. It actually deflects off his glove. Kicks into the outfield. We'll see how they score it, but I'm guessing a hit.
Yep, that's a knock.
First major league hit for Albert Almora Jr. He'll get an RBI to boot. And it's 6-0.
I think he had a nice day. Made that very strong throw from left field to nail the runner at home plate. And now his first major league knock.
The answer is Quentin Berry. Last year.
Quentin Berry.
Yes.
Where's Quentin Berry now?
I saw him in spring training with the Angels, I think. He is at AAA Salt Lake with the Angels.
That would have been my next guess. That was either Speed Racer or Quentin Berry because they're both fast.
Three and 0 on Montero. Cubs have added 2 to their lead here in the 8th. Got a green light, 3-1. Pedro Strop.
Maybe 6 the magic number. Or Joe's going to be willing to shut Lackey down and turn it over to the bullpen.
That was the number the other night for John Lester.
Right at 100 pitches. So in other words, when it was 5-0 with John the other night, John Lester, and perhaps with Lackey here this afternoon, Joe's thinking was, it's still a game that could get away from us, and I like the way he's throwing the ball, so I'm going to run him back out there. And then he got the 6. He's okay, I feel real comfortable with the 6-run lead, and it sounds kind of weird. 5-6, both feel like very comfortable leads. But as Joe says, as a manager, you got to pick a number. You got to pick a number that says, if we get there, then I'm gonna shut my guy down, save some bullets, and turn it over to the pen.
McClure, the pitching coach. Elvis Araujo up in the home bullpen.
Maybe in anticipation of a Tommy La Stella pinch hit appearance for Lackey.
Baez, with his 5th career 3-hit game, has yet to have 4 in a major league contest, but he's got a shot here. Kicks away on a swing and a miss. Both runners advance.
Once again, the Phillies pull the infield in. See if Javi can shorten up, make a little contact here with 2 strikes.
And he does, and a base hit. Almora is in, Montero behind him, and Baez is tagged out. Well, that was a nifty play by Galvis and Hernandez, as Galvis cut it off and quickly flipped to the second baseman to get Baez. But a career high 4 hits today. It's 8-0.
So indeed he does with 2 strikes, managed to put the ball in play, punches it right through the middle of the diamond to bring in 2 more. Yeah, sweet play by Galvis with a catch and flip. Galvis really not his responsibility on that play. You see Howard running into the cutoff position, but a great read and a very clever play by Freddie Galvis.
So looking like Lackey is done for the afternoon with this big 8-0 lead. Here's Matt Caesar. Well, he is done. It's Matt Caesar batting for him. Focused on watching Lackey in the dugout.
Ho hum, another scoreless outing.
And a strike on Matt. 8 consecutive quality starts for John Lackey. Bounce to third, charged by Franco, and the throw is just in time. A lot of good stuff today for the Cubs, including Albert Almora Jr. with his first major league hit and RBI. It's 8-0 late. And Chicago celebrates the life of Muhammad Ali, as we'll have live coverage of his memorial service from Louisville, Kentucky. The greatest remembering Muhammad Ali begins Friday at 12:30 on CSN Chicago. Here's right-hander Pedro Strop after John Lackey went to 7 shutout innings on just 3 hits.
Yeah, I was just doing some math here. I believe, if my numbers are correct, since the end of April, Mr. Lackey has fashioned a 159 earned run average after his work here today. Earned runs times 9 divided by innings pitched if you want to figure out an ERA at home. Kids are out of school. They want to sharpen their math skills. They can compute ERAs and batting averages. The advanced kids can work on wins above replacement and VORP, XFIP.
Strop and Rupp. Two and two.
Quick pitch and a rare take.
You see a lot of swings on that quick pitch. He got him.
With a little hop on the end.
Interesting. That seemed like a new maneuver. One out. Here's Ashe. He went. It's a strike. So the last hit belonged to Ashe. That was in the second. $16 in a row retired by Lackey to end his outing. $17 in a row. Includes Strop getting Rupp, have been retired. 1-2. Just a complete shutdown of this Phillies offense. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
No hop this time from Strop. Follow Cubs baseball live with MLB.com at bat. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video, highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. And I think the reason for the hop after the first one was Pedro's last outing against Arizona. He did not throw well. He gave up a home run, gave up 3 hits, 2/3 of an inning. Joe had to go get him. So I think that was more of a celebratory. Yeah, I made my pitch. I finished that slider.
Right.
Not so much a showing up of Rupp. I doubt that Rupp interpreted it that way.
1-1 on Goodell. One and two. Ball strike 3.
Wow.
Wow. He got them all. 5 straight Phillies have struck out. 11 in all combined. 8-0 to the 9th. Cubs today in the rubber match, 8-0, 9th inning. Elvis Araujo is on.
Big left-hander is on for the 21st time. Picked up a win. 394 is the earned run average. There's a lot of 302 batting average against right-handers, as you see, really doing a lot of damage against him.
Fowler back to the right side. pitch. Just below the knees for ball one, 1-1. What are you doing tomorrow? Are you going fishing?
Gone fishing? No.
Tough play on a bare hand by Franco, and he got him. That is a very tough play to make.
And with the speedy guy going down the line, the do-or-die play for Franco. It's a little late adjustment there with his body. Bare hand flip. Taking a look at it in the Cubs video room. Fowler slowly making his way back towards the dugout.
They got it right.
No, you know, I'll probably just hang out. Go for a little stroll. Sit on the porch and drink some lemonade. That's what you do in Atlanta. Get some grits somewhere.
Everybody looking forward to a day off.
Well, we got a few guys that live in that area, correct?
Yes. Hayward from that area. John Lester lives there. Fouled back. 1-1.
David Ross. And Rossi lived there. Dexter Fowler.
He's from there as well. Yeah. That ball hit hard, and it gets into right center. 2 hits, 3 reaches for Hayward.
That ball pretty well scalded by the big guy. I'm going to go with a 101 on the exit velocity on that one.
I'm going to say higher than that. 108.
108.
Yep. Four Cubs have at least 2 hits, led by Javier Baez. He's got 4. One and 2 on Bryant.
Wind continues to blow very hard here. It's kind of vacillated off and on all day, but it's been pretty breezy throughout and bringing it pretty good right now.
You can see the swirling effect because the flags, I mean, it's left to right, but a lot of the debris here is going right to left, as you can see some of it on the field. As we watch the end of American Beauty. In the hands, and he got him. 2 outs, and it'll bring up Rizzo.
First baseman Anthony Rizzo.
So Giordano Ventura, it's going to get suspended, correct? It's got to, right?
Absolutely.
Repeat offender, he'll probably get maybe a little longer than normal. What about Machado? Does he get?
He gets suspended. Yes, yeah. Machado gets suspended. I think Ventura has to be suspended longer. He hit him with a fastball at 99. And the anecdotal evidence would tell you that it was on purpose.
Yeah, and the fact that he's kind of been that guy. The thing that I found kind of interesting was Adam Jones' comments after the game, referring to Ventura, that if he wants to be Pedro Martinez, he should have a sub-2 ERA. And that implying that, that's not what Pedro would do. Well, Pedro was that guy for a time. Pedro would light you up.
Right.
That was the reputation he had. But I would imagine Ventura's act is getting pretty old in his own clubhouse, where guys feel like, man, people are going to be dotting us all the time because of this guy.
Right. Rizzo could not hold. That is strike 3. And we will go to the bottom of the 9th. Cubs lead this game 8-0. Toast to the game presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. It's John Lackey.
Yeah, interesting ball game for Lackey in that the Phillies started nicely. Back-to-back hits to start the ball game. Then they got the big play from Almora, and Lackey just took control of the ball game. Got a lot of swings and misses. Just 3 hits allowed.
Binny's Beverage Depot is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs. Here's Clayton Richard.
Strop over the 1-2-3-8, struck everybody out. Clayton gets the 9th. 18th time he has gone out there. He's only worked 9 innings. He's allowed 17 hits. And ERA up there at 8 now for Clayton. So, no doubt he's a little anxious and find his groove.
Facing Tommy Joseph off the bench. Ball 1.
Joseph, a good-looking hitter, hasn't walked much. Good-looking swing. I don't know if he'll slug enough to become an everyday first baseman in this league. He's a former catcher, but he's had concussion issues, and he's moved out from behind the plate.
Ball 4. Here's Herrera. Strike one. One and one.
So just flipping back through my scorebook here. In this 3-game series, the Phillies have gone 3 up, 3 down 17 times.
Wow. Swing and a miss. Ball gets away. Joseph to second.
Montero charged with the pass ball.
They hit the dirt.
Yeah, that'll probably be changed.
We'll have to change that. Pounded on the ground to a backhanding Zobrist. One away. Joseph to third. Here's Hernandez batting right-handed. This will break the shutout as Baez gets Hernandez. It's 8-1. Now if they leave that a pass ball, that could take the earned run away when it's all said and done, but at any rate, 2 outs.
Did I detect some sarcasm in that applause from the Philly fans?
Yes. This should do it. Bryant to Rizzo. Cubs win. Cubs win, and they take 2 out of 3 to start this trip. 8-1 the final. Albert Almora Jr. with the big defensive play in the first. Later got his initial major league hit and RBI, and John Lackey is now 7-2.
Yeah, good mix of the young and the old here today, and I apologize for calling John old. Let's just say experience, but the 37-year-old right-hander on top of his game yet again this afternoon, and the youngsters coming through: Almora, Baez, Chris Bryant went deep. So 2 out of 3 heading into the off day in Atlanta tomorrow.
So make sure you join us Friday night, 6:30 Central Time, Game 1 against the Atlanta Braves from Turner Field. We have more to come. Blue Cross Blue Shield post-game live is right around the corner. Once again, the final score: Cubs 8, Phillies 1. For JD and our entire crew here in Philadelphia, Len Casper inviting you to stay tuned. More post-game coverage coming up.